The significature mind is whether one has developed gray thinking. All mentally immature individuals almost always remain stuck in binary opposition views. Binary opposition is essentially seeing everything as divided into two directly opposing and contradictory sides. A typical manifestation of the binary opposition mindset is viewing oneself as if their excellent orderable traits are seen, as if their strengths or weaknesses. Behaviors and emotions are categorized as either positive or negative. Others, a person is either good or bad, successful or failure. Viewing matters. Something is either good or bad, lucky or unlucky. When it comes to choices, it's either choice A or choice B. No other options. This kind of binary thinking is almost always the trigger for life's confusions, self-doubt, and mental exhaustion. For example, if in your cognition all emotions are divided into two categories, either positive or negative, then, due to the instinct to seek benefit and avoid harm, we naturally dislike the negative and pursue the positive. This leads to disastrous consequences, which is that we detest ourselves when we are in a low state and harshly force ourselves to be positive. This inhumane approach often backfires, leading to deeper anxiety. Thus, the process of a person's maturity is actually the process of establishing gray thinking. Gray thinking is about excluding all subjective judgments of right and wrong and accepting all facts as neutral and objective existences. Firstly, when looking at oneself, there are no strengths or weaknesses, only traits. For instance, being determined can also mean being stubborn at times. Being reticent can also mean being introverted and steady. Every trait we possess has two facets. One brings benefits, the other brings troubles and issues. Regardless of whether we currently perceive it as a strength or weakness, essentially, they are just two sides of the same coin. Therefore, you won't self-deny due to any trait you have. You just need to manage the undesirable aspect of your traits and develop the beneficial aspect to better facilitate your growth. Secondly, any emotion is allowed to exist. When you develop gray thinking, you will find that emotions are essentially flickering signals. They are neither good nor bad. Their appearance is an attempt to inform us about what our life is experiencing. We should analyze the root issues causing the emotions beyond the emotions themselves and address them, thus avoiding endless emotional exhaustion. Thirdly, any person can be understood. By using gray thinking to view people, we can more tolerantly and peacefully accept others. We will have a more objective and real perspective to view and understand the complex humanity of each person, regardless of whether they are great or ordinary, brave or weak, generous or narrow-minded. Every person has human weaknesses, strengths, and a host of unknowns, vulnerabilities, and dark sides. A person does not need to be perfect and cannot be perfect. Fourthly, anything can be transformed. When we use gray thinking to view matters, we will see that good contains elements of bad, and bad contains elements of good. Over time, our mindset will become more peaceful, and any troubles will lessen. Fifthly, facing choices, we always have options. We're never confronted with the dilemma of choice A or choice B. Instead, there's both option A and option B, and even an option C beyond the two opposing choices. Through deep questioning and open discussions about what you truly want, you'll find the essential choice. Once you develop great thinking, the top wisdom of fortune and misfortune interdependent, you will instantly feel how vast the world is. You will feel genuinely relieved, realizing that you don't have to be perfect, and that anyone can be understood and forgiven. The world is not a zero-sum game of black and white, survival of the fittest, but an infinite game with freedom to explore and play. Once you have gray thinking, you can truly allow everything to happen, and you will be completely free, which is the true sign of maturity.